The night was thick with fog as Alex, Megan, and their two friends, Liam and Rachel, drove through the winding forest road. They were returning from a weekend camping trip, eager to get home before midnight. The GPS flickered, struggling to maintain a signal in the remote wilderness. When it finally reconnected, it suggested an alternate route to save time. "Shortcut?" Alex, who was driving, asked. "Might as well," Megan replied from the passenger seat. "We'll be back before we know it." Trusting the device, Alex veered off the main road onto a narrow, unpaved path. The trees loomed closer, their skeletal branches clawing at the car's windows. A sense of unease crept over the group as the GPS's soothing voice guided them deeper into the forest. After 20 minutes, the car jolted to a stop. A large tree had fallen across the path, blocking their way. "Guess we're walking," Liam said, trying to sound cheerful. "Walking where?" Rachel shot back. "We don't even know where this road leads." "Look," Alex said, pointing to a faint trail leading into the woods. "It's not on the GPS, but it might lead us to a house or something." Reluctantly, they grabbed their flashlights and set off on foot. The dense forest seemed to close in around them. Every snap of a twig or rustle of leaves made them jump. The sound of their footsteps was swallowed by the oppressive silence. The trail ended abruptly at a clearing. In the center stood an old, decrepit cabin. The windows were shattered, the door hung loosely on its hinges, and the wooden walls were covered in strange symbols carved deep into the grain. "No way," Rachel whispered. "We're not going in there. It's either this or the woods," Alex said, his voice wavering. With no better options, they pushed the door open. The cabin's interior was worse than its exterior. Cobwebs hung like curtains, and the air smelled of decay. A broken table lay overturned in the center of the room, surrounded by scorched remains of what might have been furniture. "This place gives me the creeps," Megan said, clutching Alex's arm. "Let us just rest for a bit and figure out what to do next," Liam suggested. As they settled uneasily, Rachel's flashlight caught something carved into the wall. It was the same symbols they'd seen outside, but now they were accompanied by words, "Turn back." "They watch." "What does that mean?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Before anyone could answer, a loud thud echoed from upstairs. Everyone froze. "It's probably just an animal," Alex said, though he didn't sound convinced. "Let us check it out," Liam said, grabbing a rusty fireplace poker for protection. "Are you insane?" Megan hissed. "We should leave now." But Liam was already climbing the creaking staircase, flashlight in hand. Reluctantly, the others followed. The upstairs hallway was narrow and lined with doors. One door at the end stood ajar, revealing a faint flickering light inside. They approached cautiously. Inside, they found a room covered in more symbols, drawn in what looked horrifyingly like blood. In the center of the room was a small wooden altar, and atop it sat a crude doll made of twigs and cloth, its head crowned with animal bones. Candles surrounded it, their flames dancing eerily despite the lack of wind. "What the hell is this?" Megan whispered, her voice barely audible. Before anyone could answer, the door slammed shut behind them. The candles flared, casting shadows that seemed to move on their own. A guttural growl echoed through the room, and the air grew ice cold. "We need to leave," Rachel screamed, yanking at the door. It wouldn't budge. The growling grew louder, and then they saw it. A figure emerged from the shadows, its form shifting and unnatural. It had no face, only hollow eyes that burned with an otherworldly light. Its elongated limbs moved jerkily as it advanced toward them. Liam swung the poker, but it passed through the figure as if it were smoke. The entity let out an ear-piercing shriek that made their ears bleed. "Run!" Alex yelled. The door finally gave way, and they bolted down the stairs. But the cabin seemed to twist and stretch, its layout warping as they ran. Hallways appeared where there had been none, and the front door was nowhere to be found. The entity's shrieks echoed around them, growing closer. One by one, the group was separated in the labyrinthine nightmare. Alex and Megan reached what they thought was the exit, only to find themselves back in the altar room. The doll now stood upright, its hollow eyes fixed on them. A final scream pierced the night, and then silence. The next morning, the car was found abandoned on the forest road. The group was never seen again. Locals warned travelers to avoid the area, claiming it's cursed. But the cabin still stands, waiting for its next visitors to make the wrong turn.